Am I the asshole for not wanting to lower my daughter's standard of living for her stepsister? Me and my ex-wife divorced around 5 years ago when she came out as lesbian. We are still really good friends, and we are both confused about what to do here. Around 2 years ago, she got married to Linda and her daughter Mia, 12F. My daughter Anne is currently 17 years old. I have worked hard for the career and income I have, and I am not ashamed to want Anne to enjoy it. As such, I give her a relatively large allowance. Anne grew up volunteering at our local shelter with me and her mom weekly, so she isn't spoiled at all. Anne and Mia were really close at first, but recently Mia has been acting out about the lifestyle disparities between Anne and the rest of my ex-wife's household, like how unfair it is that Anne gets to order food for delivery whenever she wants, and how she has fancier electronics and clothes than what my ex and Linda can afford for her. Her biological father has passed. It has gotten to the point that it has started to affect her relationship with Anne. Last week was the last straw when she said, "I wish my dad was alive, so I would have the same stuff Anne has." My ex-wife scheduled a meeting with me to talk about things. We pretty much seem to be on the same page since we both have no idea what to do. We are not comfortable with lowering Anne's allowance since we're worried it would make her resent Mia. Nor are we comfortable with prohibiting her from using her allowance at her mother's place since it might alienate her from her mother's household and make her not want to be there. My understanding is that Anne offers to share things she buys, makeup, food, clothes, with Mia sometimes, but not all the time. But I don't feel comfortable enforcing a sharing rule either, since my therapist advised me that it usually breeds resentment. However, Linda has been very upset with both me and my ex-wife, since it's causing a lot of disturbance with Mia and a lot of big feelings and if my dad was alive kind of stuff, and it's genuinely harming her mental health. Linda acknowledges that it is an unfair ask, but she asked me if I could have a talk with Anne about maybe saving more of her allowance to not spend so much in front of Mia, for the sake of creating a healthier and more harmonious household. I told her I understand where she is coming from, but I don't feel comfortable controlling how my daughter spends money that I give her to spend as she pleases. AITA? Update. So, after thinking about it for a while, I still don't think it's effective to enforce anything. Making Anne share everything with Mia, or banning her from using her allowance at her mother's place, will just create resentment towards Mia. Having her spend more time here is also alienating her from her mom. However, I'm of the opinion that there is more to parenting than just enforcing rules, and encouraging good qualities, even without a consequence attached, is also important for older kids. I will not force Anne to do anything to pacify Mia or punish her for it, but I decided it is perfectly fine, and I dare say necessary, for me to have a heart-to-heart with her about the hurt she is unintentionally causing to Mia and the potential future ramifications of that. I am going to talk to her when she comes over tomorrow, and I am going to bring up the following points. The allowance I give her is hers to spend as she pleases. This has been and will remain her right. However, spending money on Uber Eats and clothes and other things in front of Mia is upsetting to her, given both the fact that she's a child who doesn't understand financial matters just yet, and that she only has one parent to provide for her. Mia might eventually grow up to understand, or she might not. Even if she does understand later, the upset caused in the meantime will be damaging to their relationship, and possibly to her relationship with Linda. Sometimes we do things we don't want to do, and not necessarily fair or just in the traditional sense to protect relationships we value. It's sometimes better to be happy than right. Doing this does not necessarily mean you are a doormat, and it is an important part of living in a society. Granted, this is only okay if done sometimes, not over every single issue in a relationship, and ultimately it is up to her and her alone to determine if that particular relationship is worth it. I feel like what I'm doing is a good balance between not encroaching on Anne's rights, but also encouraging kindness and consideration and letting her know about the potential consequences of what she's doing as an older adult. Please feel free to give some more advice about what I should include in the talk.